Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. Hope you're having a good day. In this video, I want to address a couple of questions related to the why of frequency distribution tables. Now, when we think about this, really there's three questions that we need to be concerned with. Why are they used? Why are they often ignored? And why are they so useful? Okay. Now, in a previous video, I talked about why they're used in terms of data. If I have categorical data, that's why I would use a frequency distribution. Okay? But there's another reason why I want to use a frequency distribution table. I want to use this table because it's very good at drawing the reader in and helping them understand the point that we're trying to make. What does that mean? Well, let me show you with this table. Why would I make this table? Well, I want to make a point. The point that I want to make is that 43%, or roughly, actually 58.6% of the articles in this dissertation, we can call that 60%, were created or published within the last decade in terms of 2010 to 2019. That's the point that I want to make, and it makes that point very simply. A reader who understands frequency distribution tables is able to look at this table, and if they've had the proper training, they could see it and immediately understand some things without having to read the text, and it reduces the cognitive load on the reader. Okay, that's why I want to do it. Well, why do people so often ignore these tables? Oh, a couple of reasons. One reason, and hopefully by now you've started to see it, these tables, if they don't follow format, if they don't have some consistency in them, they can be rather difficult to follow. As you see here, this table starts off looking like this. But through some iterations and moving things around, all of a sudden, when we get to the end, we've got this table. The numbers have changed, the number of columns have changed, and I've even changed the title. And when people start building frequency distribution tables, instead of finding a template and staying with it, they have a tendency to modify it without understanding. And it falls on the reader then to make sense of it. Well, after a while, that gets a little too hard for them, so they just give up trying to keep up with all the changes. Cannot stress this enough. If you're building frequency distribution tables for your dissertation, or for an article, or for a chapter, or whatever, find one template that can be used for all of the tables and then keep it. It may not seem that important to you as you're going through this process, but for the reader, it's going to be very important, and it's going to make their understanding of what you write become easier, and all of a sudden, you're a genius because I can easily understand what you're saying. If I'm having to work to understand all these different nuanced changes that you're making to your tables, all of a sudden, you don't shine quite as bright. Last question. Why are they so useful? Frequency distribution tables are so useful because they take complex ideas and make them simple to understand. If I were to look at a reference section of a dissertation, I can't see an individual reference. It's too much. There's too much information. I've got information overload. But if I look at this table that we see right now, and it shows I have 29 articles, I can hold on to that. I can say, okay, I understand there's 29 articles. And I can understand that 17 of those articles, more than half, were published in the decade of the 2010s. And this is a concept that I can easily hold on to as I'm reading the text. And that's why they're useful. They are very good at connecting with the reader and getting the reader to understand these complex ideas that you're trying to explain that to you don't need any explanation. So when you're building your frequency distribution tables, and I'm going to say this quite often in many videos, if you keep the audience in mind as you're building the table, if you find that consistency as you're creating them, if you'll do that, you'll find that getting points across becomes very simple. Keeping your reader interested becomes easier. And the accolades that you're looking for, which we all want, will come quicker. I hope this video has answered some questions for you. I hope it's raised some questions. If you have any, I'd love to hear them. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day.